Hey everyone! I know, it's been a while. I'll try my best to get you all caught up. After dealing with Nathaniel Sims down in Texas, we were left caring for some cryptids. Specifically, a mutant canid, a baby lycanthrope, and what was apparently a tatzelworm. Not knowing what else to do, we decided to return home and take care of them. Keeping a sick dog, a puppy that walks on two legs, and a ferret snake a secret was challenging. It basically turned into a full-time job, but between the two of us, we managed. Unfortunately, the mutant canid's condition steadily declined, and after a few weeks, he passed away. That left us with two creatures, both of which were still a handful. So we just continued taking care of them. Hello?
Hey, man.
Hey, Mia. What's up?
You'll never believe it.
What?
I found them.
Found what?
My grandfather's journals.
Oh, duh. Wait, really? That's awesome.
Yeah. My mom is finally ready to sell his house, so I asked if I could take a look around before she started packing everything up. It did take a little digging, but I found an old box filled with journals. It looks like they go all the way back to the 50s.
Wow, that's amazing. Anything good in there?
I don't know. I've only glanced through them so far. There are a lot of them.
Well, hey, I'm glad you found them.
Me too.
We continued to spend our time taking care of the cryptids until Mia came up with a great idea.
As much as I love these guys, we can't take care of them forever. Especially if the lycanthrope grows up to be as big as the one in Wisconsin.
Ugh, yeah.
Not to mention, we need to get back on the road, studying cryptids.
Of course. But what are we going to do about them?
Well, it finally hit me.
Oh, yeah?
Donna!
Right, of course. Donna, Burton, right?
Yeah, she's had the panther.
Sylvester.
Right, she's had Sylvester for years now, so we know she's capable of it. And I don't know about you, but I would trust her to take good care of them.
You're right. Donna's a great choice. And we already know she can see cryptids, which is kind of important.
Exactly. Anyway, I sent her an email, and guess what?
What?
She's got a new house.
Oh, good for her. That's great.
Yeah, apparently your message board worked wonders. She made a ton from donations. Combine that with the savings she already had, and it was finally enough. She was able to buy a big house out in the middle of nowhere. She's got plenty of room now, and she said she's willing to take care of the cryptids for us.
Awesome! When do we get started? We packed our bags once again and finally got back onto the road for the first time in months. Our first stop? Dropping off a couple of cryptids. I gotta admit, I am gonna miss them, even if Lobo's teething. Yes, you too, Fritz. And your teeth are nowhere near as sharp.
It has been nice having them around.
After a day of driving, we finally reached Donna's new home. She was still in Tennessee, but considering that her house is slowly turning into a cryptid hotspot, I think it's best not to mention which town she's in specifically. Sylvester!
Aw, hey, buddy. Does your mama know you're outside?
Good to see you two.
This is wonderful.
I know, isn't it? It's about 30 acres, all in all. The fence just got finished last week, and now I'm looking at quotes to put up some separate enclosures, just so the animals will all have their own separate spaces.
I'm so happy for you.
Well, I can't thank you guys enough. You made this all possible.
No, thank you. You're doing us a huge favor taking care of these guys.
Yeah, and you'll be doing good work here. Cryptids need to be cared for just like any other animal.
I know. Someone has to do it. I'm glad I can help.
Since we had spent so much time driving, Donna offered to let us spend the night at her home. We thought it would be good, not only to save money on a motel room, but to have some time to decide on where we wanted to go next. Before we could decide, though, a news broadcast made up our mind for us. Mia, you have to check this out. This is crazy.
What's going on?
The object was first sighted taking off from a local construction site just hours after a tunnel collapse was reported. Since then, there have been several more sightings of the mysterious object. All witnesses describe a dark, fast-moving shape. Police are investigating the tunnel collapse, but have given no comment on the object itself. We'll have more from this story as it develops.
What the hell?
This was just last night. Illinois. Can we go?
I don't know.
Is this the kind of stuff you two normally deal with?
No, we usually just focus on cryptids.
Come on. Didn't you say we could investigate a non-cryptid mystery every once in a while?
I guess I did. You think it's, what, a UFO?
Well, it is a UFO.
Lucas.
Unidentified flying object. That's what it is. Now, whether this means aliens or not, I don't know. The descriptions are pretty vague. I don't think anyone got a great look at it.
Which could also be from the fog, if it's a cryptid.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you say?
All right, I guess we're going to Illinois.
As we prepared to leave, there was just one problem. Fritz, the tatzelworm, refused to stay with Donna.
Sorry, Fritz. You have to stay here.
Does she, though?
Lucas, come on. We can't keep her.
Why not?
Well,
It's not like she'd be stuck back home. She's small enough to come with us. We did just drive all the way down here, so we know she's okay with car rides.
I don't know. What would we tell people?
The ones that can even see her, you mean?
Right.
Well, if we go out in public, we'll just hide the tail. Tell people she's a normal ferret.
I guess that could work.
Come on. How can you say no to a face like this?
Fine. Tats can stay with us.
Yes! Thank you so much. You hear that? You're staying with us now. And just like that, we had a pet tatzelworm. We bid farewell to Donna and Lobo and Sylvester and headed north. By the time we reached Illinois, more sightings were coming in from multiple neighboring towns. Eyewitness reports were now describing a massive flying creature with a long neck and tail. It looked like we were on the trail of a cryptid after all. And in my mind, there was only one thing it could be.
No.
Come on.
No.
At least let me look into it.
Fine, but don't call it research. Dragons don't exist.
It wouldn't be the first mythological creature we've found.
Lucas, a reptile that big wouldn't even be able to fly, let alone breathe fire. Which, I might add, is something that hasn't been mentioned in any of these witness accounts.
Strange abilities. Isn't that one of the ways your grandfather defined cryptids?
I can't believe we're having this conversation. This is so dumb.
If it's so dumb, why are we still driving there?
Because it's something, and we're going to find out what.
We finally reached Edwardsville, Illinois. By this point, sightings were coming from all over the surrounding areas, but Edwardsville seemed to be the epicenter. Man, how do you even stop a dragon? Do we find a spear? Oh, you know what? I bet a rocket launcher would do the trick. Let's see if the National Guard can lend us a few.
It's not a dragon, and we're not here to kill it.
What if it is? And what if we had no other options?
Don't say that.
We spent the day driving around. We would have talked to some witnesses first, but there were so many at this point that we just didn't know where to start. Not to mention, Mia wanted to be out on the road as soon as possible and hopefully find this thing while it was still in the area. But with little information to go on, we didn't find anything. So we finally called it a night and went to bed. The next morning, though, we awoke to a town on the verge of hysteria.
Reports are coming in this morning from all over Madison County. Many sightings are being reported, along with a wave of attacks on homes and vehicles. Eyewitness accounts are, quite frankly, hard to believe.
It was terrifying. I can't really describe it, but it was huge. The biggest animal I've ever seen.
I hear glass breaking, so I look outside, and there's this giant monster flying away. It smashed a hole in my windshield.
It was the size of a plane. It had this long tail and giant horns. It must...
Dragon! That is totally a dragon!
We've never had this many sightings of a cryptid in such a short span of time. Whatever it is, a lot of people are seeing it. And it sounds dangerous. We need to get out there.
We inhaled breakfast as quickly as we could manage and hit the road. We spent a few hours driving through the woods outside of town until we finally found it. Or it found us. Turn around!
Seriously? You want me to follow them?
3 cop cars and an ambulance? Yeah, it probably attacked someone nearby.
All right.
Oh my god, up there!
Holy fuck. It's a f***ing dragon.
No? I don't think so.
Are you kidding me?
It doesn't look like a dragon. I mean, yeah, it kind of does, but it reminds me of something else.
Whatever. Let's just hope we can keep up with it.
Wait, what is it doing? Circling around?
Shit.
You think it sees us?
We're the only car around now. Of course it sees us. The question is whether or not it cares.
It's getting lower. Faster!
I'm going as fast as I can. What
Oh my god! Mia, stop! As the creature began to gain on us, there was a roar of gunfire. This helicopter had shown up out of nowhere. No markings, all black. From some research I did afterwards, I think it might have been a Black Hawk. Anyway, the helicopter just opened fire on this thing with a set of machine guns. After a second that felt like it lasted a lot longer, the creature fell from the sky. We couldn't see where exactly it landed, but we felt the shock of the impact. The helicopter hovered overhead for about a minute, I think to make sure the creature was really dead, and then it just left as suddenly as it had appeared.
What in the flying f*** just happened?
We pulled onto the side of the road and headed off in the direction we thought the creature fell. And we did manage to find the body. Well, what was left of it.
Ugh, I'm gonna be sick. You don't think this was a dragon?
Well, no. I can't put my finger on it, but I've seen something like this before. Something that's not a dragon. I don't know.
Whatever it is, it's huge.
But apparently not bulletproof.
Lucas!
Sorry, but seriously, what was that all about? You think the army killed it?
I wish I knew. If we keep it up, I have a feeling things are just gonna get crazier and crazier.
We headed back to our room and spent the night just decompressing. Until a realization finally hit me. That's it!
What?
I think I know what it was.
Well?
The Piasa.
Like the Leaning Tower?
Very funny. Give me a few minutes, I'll tell you more about it then. Okay, so the Piasa is an old myth of the Alini tribe, and possibly even older than that. Its name essentially means the bird that devours men.
That sounds about right.
It's known primarily from an old mural depicting the creature, and the earliest written evidence comes from 1673. Some explorer found the mural on a cliff face overlooking the river he was traveling on. Here it is. See? Wings, antlers, long tail.
Okay, yeah. I definitely see the similarities.
According to legend, the Piasa was a creature that once terrorized the Alini people. Every morning and afternoon, it would attack the village, and it usually carried someone away. One day, the chief finally prayed for help, and the Great Spirit gave it to him in a dream. It turns out the Piasa was vulnerable under its wings. So the next morning, the chief went to the top of a cliff and got the Piasa's attention. He dove to the ground and grabbed the tree roots coming out of the ground around him. The Piasa tried to carry him away, but the chief held on to the roots. As the Piasa flapped and struggled and tried to carry him away, the tribe's warriors fired arrows on it, killing it. The mural was painted the very next day to celebrate its defeat.
Okay. But this thing was huge and aggressive. You said the Piasa is only really known from the mural?
Yeah, no other real encounters that I could find.
So if there's a species like the Piasa out there, how have there not been more sightings? It'd be kinda hard to miss.
Well, there could be just the one, like the Jersey Devil.
But according to the legend, it was killed.
I have a theory about that, actually. You remember those first few reports? It was seen after some kind of accident at a construction site. What if, all those years ago, they didn't kill it? They thought they did, but it just went into some kind of hibernation or something. It gets buried and sleeps for centuries. Then all of a sudden this construction company unearths it and wakes it up. It probably freaks out, causes some damage, and flies away.
That's not the worst theory you've come up with, actually.
Thanks. There's one other thing, too.
Yeah?
That mural, it's in Alton, Illinois. Not even half an hour from here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter where it came from, because it is definitely dead now.
I am sorry about that. But I gotta say, whoever killed it, they did us a favor. After Bray Road, I thought we learned from our mistakes. I thought we were more prepared, but we're not. We're not even close.
Okay. Field notes. Piasa. I can't say for sure what the creature we saw was, but given the anecdotal evidence combined with our own encounter, I'm comfortable at least referring to it as the Piasa. First off, the Piasa was gigantic. With the exception of sauropods, those are the long-necked dinosaurs, this may be one of the largest land animals ever. But I guess I'll describe it before I get to measurements. Its basic body shape was... I hate to say this, but it did look like a dragon. 4 legs, a pair of wings on its back, a long neck, and an even longer tail. Now, I'm pretty sure it was some kind of mammal, given that it had golden brown fur. The fur covered its body and most of its face, and almost made it look like the creature had a beard. Also on its head were a large pair of antlers. Its wings were structurally similar to bat wings, as opposed to something like feathers. Its feet resembled an elephant's, but with more pronounced claws. It also had an incredibly long tail. The Piasa was about 80 feet long, although without counting the tail, it was more like 25 feet. When not in flight, it most likely walked on all fours and would have stood around 17 feet tall at the shoulders. And its wingspan was just about 68 feet. So yeah, it was big and very aggressive. It could have just been territorial, but judging from the teeth and some of the reports we saw, I'm pretty confident that it was also a carnivore. Like I said, the Piasa was most likely a mammal, but anything beyond that would just be guessing. End field notes.
The Cryptid Cases has been a production of Little Giant Monsters.
If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on iTunes or tell a friend. It really helps others find the show.
If you'd like to follow us on social media, search for Little Giant Monsters on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can also visit our website, littlegiantmonsters.com.
Check out any of these pages to see other projects we're working on, as well as a new cryptid sketch every Monday after the new episode.
Thanks for listening, and see you again soon.